Hi, Diana.
Hey,
Here we are again. I am so excited to be doing a second year of Cosmic Mastermind and such an important year of 2025.
yeah, it's super exciting. I mean, this was our first run, our beta run of our Cosmic Mastermind, an idea that came together at the end of last year, and it went so well. I was
It,
so
it
happy with,
was amazing.
yeah, the group of people that we got together and how they all really showed up for each other and the kind of support that came together was really so fulfilling. And then just a couple months after running into some of the people that were in the group and hearing how much they missed being a part of the group, how
Yes,
valuable it was for them.
yes. A lot of new friendships were made, and I'm really thankful for that, for sure.
And
So,
collaborations.
yeah,
Yeah.
collaborations. Every time we met, there was something really insightful that was put out there that we all took in. Sometimes there were tears, sometimes laughter and just a lot of collaboration and coming together, supporting each other. It was really beautiful. And I am super excited to be doing this again. So, Cosmic Mastermind originated in the mastermind of you, having an idea after we had lunch one day that we can come together in partnerships and really help each other based on our human design chart and our astrology chart. There's things that are weaknesses for me that are strengths for you, and vice versa. And then just the energy that we're receiving from people according to our human design. Some of us have built in energy and some of us don't and need to borrow the energy. So coming together in this cosmic mastermind group to create the balance between everyone is what really made it so powerful. All right. So what would you say in your own words, what is a mastermind group?
Oh man, in my own words, I was going to. Well, we know that Napoleon Hill potentially was the person that sort of introduced this idea of a mastermind group in his Think and Grow Rich book, which is like 100 years old or something like that. But it's sort of peer-to-peer mentorship group. Yeah, I mean, when you think of a mastermind, kind of like a think tank, right? For everyone to come together and share ideas, share resources, get feedback you're needing. And so, yeah, it's an idea where we come together and each person gets a little bit of time to share what they're focused on and receive feedback from everyone. And I think that that's super important because a lot of us, like myself, we're the one person business, or I think so our group it's for spiritual entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs that are focused spiritually. You don't have to have your own business. Maybe you are wanting to write a book or something else like this, but it's sort of people that have ideas and are spiritually oriented and are wanting a community and wanting connection and collaboration. And it's a way to sort of have that focus group that a lot of us are missing in our lives.
Yeah. And so our mastermind group is all of the benefits of the mastermind group, plus spirituality concepts are entwined in it. So everyone in the group will be more spiritually inclined. They're on the spiritual path. They look to astrology and human design and different other spiritual modalities to assist them in their business ideas and business growth. So that will be the core of the group based in spirituality, which is, I think, such a cool idea. Helping each other because we are very spiritual people. Not a lot of us are really good with finances or numbers and stuff. But we did have somebody that was good at that in our group last year, so that was good.
Yeah, the idea is that we kind of hand pick a diverse group of people with different strengths and abilities to come together so that it can be really balanced. And so there's that idea of those skill sets and levels of experience, right? And taking in these concepts, but also it's an energetic thing because that was what inspired me in the first place was that I noticed that when I spent time with you, that ideas would just come to me or I would get energy to move forward. And then when I checked out the compatibility of your human design and my human design chart, I found that we made like a whole chart because for people who are familiar, probably most people are more familiar with human design than me, but we have these energy centers, and if they are defined, then we have consistent access to that energy. And if they're open, then it sort of depends on who we're around, whether or not we have access to that. And so I have 7 defined out of 9 centers, but I had a couple open and I found that you were the missing piece. And so the idea was that when you and I are together and we have all of these defined centers, then that means that anyone that comes to the group has access to that consistent energy. So just the fact of us all coming together from a human design perspective and having those consistent defined energy centers, it helps everyone to have access to more ideas or more energy to get what they need to get done, or just sense of stability. And then also on an energetic level, we have the synergy effect, where when you have a group of different individuals and we're all coming together supporting each other, it helps the whole group. Even if from the practical perspective, maybe if someone's giving an idea to someone else and I'm like, oh, that could also be a great idea for me. So there's that practical level, but on the energetic level as well, because this is my energy trying to get something done. And now I'm connected to this amount of people and we create this big energetic field, then that is available to any of my projects or ideas. And so there's a lot of benefit in working together as a group.
Definitely. Yes. It's definitely felt, and it was felt when we did this. There was so much support and collaboration felt. You didn't feel alone in your journey of business.
The other thing about the mastermind group, which is a really big thing, is accountability. Because
Oh,
those
yeah.
of us that are solopreneurs, or if you're not an entrepreneur, but you're somebody on a spiritual path, a lot of times don't have other people in their lives that are in the same interests. So nobody to talk about spiritual ideas, or the accountability thing is big for me because I get so many ideas all the time. And then if I start on this one and then, oh, shiny object over here, and then I start on this one. And so having a group where you're stating your goal and then we're checking in each time that we meet. Where are you with your goal? What do you need help with? How can we support you? It's really, really, really helpful. And the times that we're in spiritually, everybody talks about the Aquarian age, and I'm always talking about it, but it's really true. I mean, it's an age of 2000 something years. So it is big news to talk about. It's
Yes.
definitely this lifetime. And if you believe in other lifetimes like I do, and probably our next lifetime and our next lifetime, we're going to be in this Aquarian age and we're just getting into it. And so we're adjusting from being in this very individualized. Of course, we're still going to be individuals. I love being an individual. However, just the whole lone wolf thing of doing everything on your own, it does get exhausting. And so shifting into how we can be independent and interdependent and not have to do everything alone anymore. And so there's going to be a lot more in the years ahead, group type things like what we're doing. So we're sort of pioneering some of these to move forward and work together. The whole collaboration instead of competition model is kind of where we're moving out of the Capricorn hierarchical structure that Pluto is in and moving into the more collective collaboration, cooperation, highest level of Aquarius.
Yes, exactly. I love how you said it's not about losing your individuality. You're still working on your individual self, but then you have this group that's there to support you when you feel like you've fallen or you're challenged, and they're there to help pick you up and get you back on the journey with ideas, with love, with just support in general. And we saw that happen a couple of times in our group, where one meeting, one of the participants would be super motivated and energetic and things are going great. And the next time they're not doing so great. Something happened and they're challenged, and the group came together and supported them. It was really beautiful. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, if you just think about like a 6-month period of time, how we can have highs and lows in that amount of time. And absolutely, when I'm excited and I'm so energized and gung ho, I love to share that enthusiasm with others, and that helps pick some people up. And then when I'm in like a dark, heavy, or frustrated place, it's so nice to be able to receive just encouragement and support from others. And so just the idea that we're going to be up all the time, that's just not, we're nature beings. Like the
Yes,
sun doesn't,
totally.
shine all day long, right? You've got the
Yeah.
sun, then it goes down, and summer is not all the time. And so in the same way, we have our ups and downs, and it's just helpful to have the support that you need when you're in a challenge place to help you pull through that.
Yes, definitely. So, and the benefit of Also the community, accountability. We're going to have accountability groups, which was feedback from our first Cosmic Mastermind. Many people wanted more accountability like partners. So we've decided to add in accountability groups so you can help each other outside of our meetings, which is a big thing because sometimes you have the meeting and you're energized and you're ready to go, but then the next day you're kind of like, I don't want to do this anymore. So having that partner, that group to help you and keep you going will be really beneficial.
Okay, so we'll have a little bit bigger group, maybe about 12 people for our main group, but then within that little pods or little smaller accountability partners, not like someone's gonna like, hey, did you do it? Not like kind of strict thing, but just for people who want that, just someone to check in on a more regular basis, because we're meeting twice a month for 90 minutes, but then in between those times, you can check in with your accountability partners, and that I think is going to be really helpful and was requested by the members. That and to have a topic every month. So periodically having specific topics to help people with their entrepreneurship and also things on the spiritual path. And so based on what the group members are requesting, we'll have, whether Sharon and I are presenting about things or other experts come in and share to help us all out, because that's the idea too. It can even be group members, because that's what we had last time too. If somebody's good with finance or law and we're not, letting them share their expertise and knowledge to help the whole group. So we all have different strengths and areas that we have succeeded with and be able to share from our strengths.
Yes. That was really helpful when we did the first one. The finances one, we even had a psychic medium do readings for everybody. She was part of the group, so that was really a good one. Yeah, and there are topics in our businesses that some of us struggle with, and this is the whole idea, some of us are good at. And so having that time to share our knowledge with others in the group is very beneficial for everyone. Even the person teaching it and sharing it is getting a benefit as well. What about another benefit? Networking. Networking is another benefit of this group, because there were many times when several participants during the first Cosmic Mastermind would recommend, this is a marketing person to use. Some people in the group actually got business because other people in the group recommended them to somebody, a friend or so forth. So the networking aspect of helping each other and recommending friends to certain people in the group, that's really beneficial as well. I mean, not that that's a given that you have to do that, but once you become part of that group and you feel like family, and you know each other, you start to know each other pretty well. It's like, I have a friend that could really use your business, your services. So I'm going to get you guys in touch. It seemed to happen up pretty much a lot last time, which was really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, I hate networking, honestly, like the traditional type of
Yeah,
networking. This feels much more organic. It feels more authentic. That's like a big
definitely.
keyword for me for the Cosmic Mastermind, is it's helping us to be more of our authentic self, is our spiritual self embodied in physical
Mhm.
being and expressing our true gifts from our highest self, and connecting in this way where we get to know each other more, and then authentically connecting people to other people, because you really know them now, not just like schmoozing at some event.
Yeah,
You don't really know, and like, oh, you do this, and let me connect you to this person, and you don't
yeah,
really know the person. I don't want to recommend someone unless I know for sure. Like my hairstylist, I love her. She's awesome. I followed her around from salon to salon to salon, but I love her so much that sometimes people will ask me, oh, where do you get your hair done? Only if I really know that that person is going to be a good client or customer. I don't want to just like pawn anybody off to my hairstylist, because
Mhm.
that's how much I love and respect her. And so I'm always like making sure it's a good fit, because it's all really what we're moving into, which we've already seen with, you can see with social media and how business has changed even from when I started my business. Is it used to be this more of a separation between business or entrepreneur and client or customer, and it was more professional and buttoned up,
yeah,
and now it's really like friends and personal, and people sharing really personal things, and then people feeling connected to you based on who you are as a person, and then wanting to work with you. And so we're kind of moving into that space where it makes sense more to work with people that you vibe with and to kind of make the commitment to get to know these people more. And then you have real connections with them. And then, yeah, if you have 12 people and they each have their social circle and then their social and their professional circle, that really makes quite a big community that you have in your network. And it's much more authentic than other types of networking.
Yes, and it feels a lot more authentic and just so genuine, and the gratitude that's there when you're networking, and thank you for recommending me, or thank you for connecting me with your friend. It was so lovely to meet your friend. It's just such a beautiful thing. You never know who the people you meet that come into this second cosmic mastermind, you never know what is going to come out of it. I mean, besides all the benefits we're talking about, there's going to be lifetime connections just rippling across time. It's just a never ending benefit.
Yeah. Shall we move
We
on from the
first,
benefits and talk about astrology?
yes, we have a lot of big transits coming about in 2025. It sounds like it's going to be a big, big year for us personally and our businesses and beyond. What are the big ones that are coming across for you, Tiana?
There's so much. It's a really exciting time. I mean, depending on if you're somebody who doesn't like change, you could go into fear right now. There's a lot happening in the world, in the collective. And again, people that are drawn to you and I or things that we offer are going to be people that are on a spiritual path. And so we know everything is a choice between love and fear, right? So when these big transits come and energy is going to change and shift, we have the ability to embrace it as an opportunity for our growth, for our healing, for sharing our gifts in a bigger way. And so there's so many things going on next year. One of the big ones is with the outer planets, because the outer planets don't change every year, like how we're just having Pluto shifting into Aquarius. And that's been talked about a lot because it's like a 20-year period that Pluto is going to be in Aquarius now. And so that's a big chunk of our life, 20 years, right? And so we've talked about the Aquarian age and how it's about the collective. But another one that's happening next year is that Neptune is moving into Aries. Now, Neptune has been in Pisces. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So it's been very much in a very spiritual sign, but Neptune moving into Aries next year. Aries is a fire sign, and Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars can be like the warrior, but Mars is also the first sign in the zodiac wheel. It's initiator. And so Neptune moving into Aries can be an opportunity to take more action on our spiritual path, to be the spiritual warrior, the Mars warrior with Neptune. So not really just meditating. I mean, of course, still want to meditate, but just look at the world and just meditate and kumbaya and not take any action. So it's going to be more action oriented. This is an opportunity for maybe somebody probably have some ideas of a project that you wanted to get started, but maybe you've just been kind of thinking about it, meditating on it, or like I said, a book that you wanted to write, or a group that you want to create, or a service offering, or maybe training that you wanted to get. And you always imagine, maybe I could be a healer, or maybe I want to start a podcast or a YouTube channel, and you've been kind of contemplating on it for a while. Well, now it's time to take action. It can be really helpful to have a group of people that you can bounce ideas off of, right? Because a lot of times it's scary to take that first step. So you can bounce ideas and make sure like, oh, does that make sense? Or maybe there's somebody in the group that already has a YouTube channel and you can get some tips on how to get started, or what's the right technology to use for that, or how do you build an audience, things like that. And Neptune in Aries is going to be there for, so 14 years. That's a long transit. And so whenever you have such a long transit, it's going to have a big impact on the collective, and of course that affects us individually. And so the whole idea of the Cosmic Mastermind, again, is it's helping us each individually on our spiritual path and on our offerings, which those of us that consider that we're on a spiritual path or might consider ourselves as a light worker, we're here for the collective shift, for the big spiritual awakening. We're here, we all have something that we can offer, that we can step into more fully. And even for myself, every year I think like, oh, okay, I have my own business. I'm doing all of these spiritual practices and spiritual services. And then it was like, okay, but now I want to create this meetup group for people interested in spiritual things. Okay, I'm doing enough. But then Spirit's like, no, you're going to do a podcast too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I got my group, I got my podcast, I'm doing spiritual work as a living, and I also have my own personal spiritual. I'm doing enough. And then the Spirit's like, oh no, and you're going to write a book, and so, and the Spirit's like, oh, you're going to create Cosmic Mastermind. Oh, you're going to create a mentorship group. So there's always more. There's always the
Right.
next level, which I love. I'm here for it. I get excited because I never know what I'm going to download, what it's going to push me to.
Right.
And that's part of the reason why we kind of changed a little bit of the format too, was because a lot of us found, and I'm one of them, that at the beginning of the mastermind in January of this year, the goal that I had set, because before we were just doing 6-month goals, because the program is 6 months. So we had 6-month goals. And I started off like, okay, I'm going to do all that. And then a couple of months in, Spirit had a new idea for me. And I was just suddenly like, oh, that old goal, that no longer makes sense, or that's not so important right now. And this other thing is important. And so I think with Neptune in Aries, we might have that kind of thing where
Yeah.
suddenly we have a new idea, new initiative. And with all of these big outer planets that are moving sort of out of Earth signs and into fire or air, if you think of air and fire, something could catch fire really quickly. This is like rapid shifts, rapid movement. And so we all need to be adaptable and flexible. So the old days of making the 5-year plan, I don't know if that makes sense anymore. You can still
Yeah.
make it, but don't be rigidly attached to it, because honestly,
Mm-hmm.
you have no idea who you're going to be in 5 years. You have no idea what the world's going to look like, right? Like 5 years ago, 2019, we had no idea
I know.
how everything was going to change. It's very important to be able to be flexible, adaptable. And that's where we could have the stability and support and structure from a group, even though the ground is
Yeah.
falling from beneath our feet. And
I
we can have,
know.
like, oh, maybe I don't have what's needed for what shift just happened, but I have my community and somebody else has the resources that I'm missing. Just to
Mm-hmm.
have that gives us a lot of comfort and the strength in numbers.
Yes, it feels very comforting to me because, yeah, you're right. We can't plan too far into the future because we have no idea what all these transits are going to bring us. And I think we have, what's the other big transit? Uranus and
Mm-hmm.
Gemini?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard when I was watching some videos on this that is this the one that there's been every time that it's transit Uranus and Gemini, there's been a war? So there's going to be a lot going on in the world for sure, but working on our individual self and helping each other out with that growth individually and in our business together is going to be so, so comforting. And it just makes me smile.
Yeah, so because Uranus is the lightning bolt of change. So it's like expect
Yeah.
the unexpected. You can never predict a Uranus transit because Uranus will always come in and blindside you. It could be in a good way. And then because Uranus has been in Taurus, and Taurus is an earth sign. And so Uranus and Taurus don't really go that well together because Taurus does not like change. It's like
Hmm.
puts its feet in. No, so it's been really interesting. But moving out of an earth sign and then Uranus being in an air sign, Gemini is all about ideas and communication. And so probably we're going to see a lot. We already have seen with AI, like how rapidly things are changing. And that's another thing too. We don't know how society is going to really change and the way that we do business is really going to change as AI picks up. So AI and crypto and all of this technology is really going to change the way that we are as entrepreneurs. And so again, we just need to be flexible, adaptable. If I'm not good with tech, but I have a buddy that can show me how this new system works or whatever, right? So just having a sense of openness, embracing change, getting excited, we can create a positive usage of these new technologies. But for sure, things are going to really change that we can't even anticipate. But it can be exciting.
Yeah, yeah, we can look at it with excitement and like, what's going to happen next?
Yeah, and then also that we're the creators. So it's not happening just to us.
Right,
These energies come in and we can ride the wave. We can learn how to surf, not just be like, oh my God, the tidal wave's coming. No,
right.
that's when we need to start paddling. These are opportunities through paying attention to things like astrology, which is just to me, it's like the cosmic weather. It's the energies that are going to be present, and they're all influences, but it's not fatalistic. It's up to us what we do. If it's raining, if I want to go out and play in the mud and sing, or if I want to get angry and whatever, shut down, I have that option. Just being aware of those things, which is part of what we will discuss in the group. We like to, every time we meet, talk a little bit about what's happening in the cosmos, and everybody has the opportunity to become more aware of their own human design chart and their astrology to get a better idea of how these influences can be opportunities for themselves and then for their business or their projects and ideas.
Yes, yes. And just to be clear, to join this group, you don't have to really know a lot about astrology or human design. If you're curious about it and you believe that it is helpful in your business planning, then this definitely is the place for you. So we're not expecting you to be a pro at knowing what's happening in the cosmic weather all the time. And that's what Tiana and I will help you, like she said, just be aware of what's happening and how it might be affecting you. It's always good to know.
And we're not pros either. That's one of the things is we don't have to be. And that's really helpful to be aware of when you are an entrepreneur. It's like, oh, you don't have to be good at everything, the jack of all trades. You just need to know where to access that information. And so,
Totally.
yeah, we'll be sharing that information that we get from other sources, but we're the ones paying attention and focusing on how that can help you and benefit you.
Yes. So,
Let's talk about the nuts and bolts, right? The key thing. So if you're still with us this far and it sounds interesting or you're a little bit curious, first and foremost, you can go to Sharon's website.
yes, it's dreambeautifulcoaching.com/cosmic mastermind to get directly to the Cosmic Mastermind site.
Or my website, awakeningtransformation.com. And so all the information will be there, but we'll also give you the basic information right now.
We are starting the 6 month period on the second, and we'll be meeting on the second and fourth Thursdays of each month starting January 9th of 2025. And all those dates will be listed on our pages. So January 9th, January 23rd. And then sometimes in a month, there's more Thursdays. Just always remembering that it's always the second and fourth Thursday. And then we'll be ending the 6 month period on June 26th.
From 7 to 8:30 p.m. Central Time.
Yes. So an hour and a half each meeting. And one meeting a month, we will be having a topic. So maybe it's marketing, maybe it's AI. It's really based on what the group is wanting.
And then the other time that we meet, we're just going to have a little bit longer check-ins with each person so that we have enough time to really check in and make sure that you get the ideas and resources that you need. The time when we have a topic, we'll have short check-ins with everybody. And then the second meetup in the month, we'll have longer check-ins, more time for each person.
Yes, which will be nice. All right. So the fee for the Cosmic Mastermind is either 600 in full or 125 paid monthly. So it all starts with you filling out an application if this is aligning with you.
Yeah, I do want to say if you feel called to it, just make sure that you can make a commitment to actually show up. Even though we do record it and provide the recording afterward, if you can't make it like 95% of the time, it's probably not the right group for you because everyone got a lot of benefit from having the consistency of people showing up and feeling that connection. I think what we learned was maybe not everybody this time showed up consistently, and some people felt disappointed when other people weren't showing up. Obviously, sometimes your family member's sick or whatever, something might come up, but it should be 95% of the time you can make it. It's not something that you just watch the replay after. So I do want to emphasize that.
Right. There's active contributions. And so we know that life happens, but we are definitely looking for participants that are able to give that 95% commitment. We know that some days won't work out, and that's totally fine, you know? So if you feel like you can commit and this is feeling aligned, please fill out an application, which the link will be on our web pages.
Yeah.
And we have lots of wonderful feedback from our participants before saying how very supportive and insightful the group was and felt motivated by the group, made a lot of progress towards goals. think there was one quote that you wanted to share, Tiana.
Yeah, here's a quote from one of our participants. It was no longer just me struggling against the universe, trying to make my goals happen. It was like this energy behind me now allowing me to get closer to my goals instead of swimming against the current really hard. And I thought that was so beautiful. And this
So
person
beautiful.
said it helped them so much. It was a really big part of their year. And some other things that people said was that the combined group energy was really powerful. There were a couple people who didn't really have other people in their life to talk about spiritual topics, or in their regular everyday work life. It was much more corporate, and they were kind of wanting to allow their spiritual self to come out more. And this was like a safe space where they were able to start to really get in touch with that in the group. And then that kind of informed them to make a big shift of a new thing that they're offering now that combines what they've been doing and their spiritual aspect.
Yes, it was really nice to have that time for people to express themselves, especially with the defined throat. And if you're in human design, if you have a defined throat, it's really important that you really release those words. So giving that space to some of those that had the defined throat, which I think was most of the group that we had last time. So it'll be interesting to see what group comes together, what the universe brings, who's all coming together right now. And it'll be magical no matter what.
It really will be. I'm so excited to see, like you said, what Spirit has planned. I'm having the intention to call in, which I do for everything I offer, those that I can be of service to, those that can benefit from whatever I'm offering. I always call them in spiritually. And it's so beautiful because my perspective is that we do have soul contracts before we came in. And again, I think this is a powerful time on the planet for this major spiritual shift and transformation. You can just look around, even people who aren't spiritual focused can see huge things that are happening right now on the planet that are different from 20 years ago, 30 years ago. In their lifetime, it's really shifted. And so we incarnated to be a part of this and to, again, shine our light, share our gifts. And there are other souls that we have soul contracts with, that we agreed that we're going to collaborate together, that we're going to help one another. And so I'm calling out to any of you who have soul contracts with me. I'm here for you. I'm offering this out. And maybe there's someone, you maybe have something that can help me and help Sharon and whoever else. It's beautiful. This all happens behind the scenes. The Spirit's working on it right now. And it's really fun to see how it's going to unfold.
It is. And the soul contracts you have and the soul family you meet in this group and the ripple effect for time afterwards. There were 2 or 3 people in the group that I've worked with after the group ended. So, I mean, it goes on and on and on. It's not just the 6 months, but it's 6 months, but afterwards, there's a lots of things that can happen too. So you never know what's going to happen. And that's what's so exciting about this time and just in general, when you take a chance and you commit to yourself and to your business, all the magical things that can happen once you just decide to commit to something, it just starts happening the moment you decide to do it. All the magic starts coming in for everyone involved. Highest good of all. So this is exciting. I'm so excited for the second run and to see who's going to be there and how it's all going to play out.
Well, thanks so much for making this time, Sharon, to talk about Cosmic Mastermind. We're going to have all of the contact information available for you in the notes. So reach out to us if you have any questions, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.